hi there. Welcome back to another episode of Billionaire's Beginnings. In episode 1, we made $1.3 million, which allowed us to buy a CEO office. And in today's video, we're going to become a CEO, make millions of dollars, and buy our next big business. Now, of course, we cannot be a CEO looking like this. We need to level up our fit. So I took a quick drive over to the clothing store, came back to our office, and got ready to make millions of dollars with our CEO office so that we could purchase our next big business. But before we do anything, there was a special money bonus last week where we can make an extra $300,000, and it was with the Downtown Cab & Co. business. If you were a taxi driver and earned $40,000 from taxi fares, you then will earn an additional $300,000. Now, there was 3 separate rewards, but if you just did $40,000 in total, we would get that money. Now, I still have not received the money, but it will be coming in soon because it says it will be given to us within 72 hours of the event week being over. Now, this whole process took me about 30 minutes, and I gotta say the taxi business is fairly therapeutic. It's just very simple. Few tips for you guys if you're ever gonna do it in the future. If there's another money bonus, you could drive however you want, crash it as much as you want when there's no passengers inside. If you crash when the passenger is inside, you will lose some money from your tip. And also, the longer the trip takes, the more the tip goes down. So it's not huge amounts, but you are rewarded more for getting somewhere fast and with little to no damage. And now that we'd finished that up, it was time to do some CEO office work. Now, we had an office and we had a 42 crate warehouse from episode 1, and we were going to start sourcing crates, get them, bring them back to the warehouse, and then later sell them on for a profit. Now, you can source crates either 1, 2, or 3 at a time. I always do 3. It just makes the most sense for me. But our goal was to get our warehouse up to 9 to 11 crates and then sell at that point, because you're essentially guaranteed 1 sell vehicle. And that was my plan in the beginning. Do 3 crate missions, essentially get 9 or so crates. I also sourced with Lupe, so they would get 1 to 2 crates every 48 minutes or so. The sourcing of the crates took on average like 25 to 30 minutes. And then my goal was to go into a public session with 25 or more people and sell the crates for a 50% bonus, taking us up to just under 200K every time we did this. That was the plan in the beginning. But man, was I mistaken, because I had seriously, criminally, some would say, underestimated how bad the cargo griefers are on the PS5. Now, my heart goes out to all of you guys playing on the Xbox Series X and PS5, because the cargo griefers are insane. PC's much better. But not only that, I didn't realize until like halfway through this grind that there was another thing going on currently in the game, and that is the God mode glitch. So even when I would try to fight against the griefers, I couldn't. So I was just getting my shit blown up over and over and over again. Now, I will say, before the griefing got bad, I did get really lucky and had 2 successful sell missions in public lobbies, so that was great. But ever since then, it's just been rocky and we have not had any fun whatsoever. So in total, I've had my stuff blown up 3 times. I didn't, first time, shame on you griefers. Second time, shame on me. Third time, I was just not using my head. Like, I would liken my brain to mashed potatoes at that point. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is what it is. So all the time we put into grinding out those cargo crates, getting our warehouse up to that 10, 11 sort of crate threshold, it all went to waste. And that is when I pivoted my strategy, added a few things into the grind, and it really made things easier. So the first thing that I did was, and I don't know why I didn't do this before, was do the exported goods at the CEO office. So that was an additional $50,000 every 48 minutes. And then I also started doing the Fooligan missions from the Freak Shop, or with Dax, I guess you could say, from those story missions, because 2 things. 1, they earn you $50,000 and it takes me maybe 5 minutes of time. The second thing is, if we complete 10 of them, we are then able to get the equipment upgrade for the Acid Lab, which is a business I would like to purchase fairly soon, because one thing this grind taught me is that we need some passive businesses for our money grind, because if we only try to grind ourselves especially as a solo player, it's going to take forever. So we need something to make us money while we go AFK. And actually, at the time of recording the audio for this video, the Acid Lab is 1.5 money, so we will be doing some of that in some future episodes, so look out for that. But those were the first two changes I made because that gave us an additional $100,000 every 48 minutes. And in this episode, I think I did a total of 7 of each, around that number, so that was an extra like $700,000 just from doing very simple, 5-minute missions. So making that change was a great start, but then my ADHD kicked in, and I don't know, PC didn't have the reflections in the mirror for me. I thought it was so fascinating, like see my guy run, like pumping his arms, just full sprint, Usain Bolt style. Really, okay, anyways, let's move on. Then we went on to maximizing the amount of money we could make with the cargo crate business, because that is going to be our main breadwinner. Very important. So I then decided to do something different. So one, I decided to no longer sell in public lobbies, because even if there is a 50% bonus, there's also a decent chance, and at this point, like a 50% chance that the stuff gets blown up and all of our hard work is for nothing. So what I did, sell in public only lobbies, and then 2, I made sure to grind it out so that I filled up our warehouse all the way up to 42 crates, because then we could sell each crate for $17,500 instead of the $14,000 that we were selling it for before. And so that whole grind took about 3 hours if you're including all of the cargo missions plus doing the 2 additional, like the Fooligan and all that kind of stuff. 3 hours total, got our warehouse filled up all the way, 42 crates, and sold that for $735,000, which is incredible. And I highly suggest doing that if you are a solo player. I highly suggest just filling up your cargo crate warehouse, and the bigger the warehouse the better, because I believe the large warehouses, it's $20,000 per crate if you get them filled all the way up. So very beneficial to do that, and it makes way more sense if you are grinding this business out to take that approach instead of trying to risk it in the public sessions. A lesson that I learned, PC, so much easier to do it, but not on the old gen and new gen consoles. Lesson learned for the future. Now, throughout this whole process, I was also doing wheel spins at the casino when I could. I think I did like 3 in total because I spaced this grinding out over a few different days. It gave us a few extra $1,000, nothing too crazy, but at the end of everything, we ended up making the $2.2 million that we needed to purchase the next business. Now, this money came from, like I said, the exported goods, the Fooligan missions, and then mainly 5 cargo crate sale missions. So all in, that's how much money we made, about 2.2 million. We started off with a few $100,000, but great episode. And the next business we are going to purchase is, of course, the Kasatka submarine, because this is the best solo money grind in the entire game. You're able to make roughly around $1.3 million for about 45 minutes of work once we get things going. But of course, because we are a solo noob right now, we don't have enough money to buy the Sparrow. So we're gonna have to do this in a more difficult way. It will take a little bit longer, but that's gonna be the next episode, is doing our first KO Preco heist. And before you go, I wanna show you something really cool.